Oh, me again. I'm back. I'm merched up. Hats, hoodies. Can't buy these hoodies actually. But anyway, you can buy the hat on the website. So today I am trying a Bucky Special, which is 4-inch Templedog style fly. Um, and this is a pretty in-depth how-to. It's aimed at king salmon or Chinook. Um, it's a pretty heavy little conehead. I use these large coneheads, which is in the materials list, and they sink pretty well. It's got blues and greens and blacks, and it's a continuation of the Bucky Special Samurai. So thank you for watching. I don't actually care if you subscribe or not, but cheers to those who have. So goodbye. So you're going to take your inner tubing and burr the end of it with the lighter, just a little. Then take about 1 inch of your outer tubing, that'll do it, and cut it at an angle like that. So slide this onto your needle nice and tight, and then just slide that over. Leave about a centimetre or so for the hook to go in if you want a fixed hook. So we're using white thread this time of your choice. Just start at the joint. Get that bound on nice and tight. And just leave a little gap to where this little hump is, where the inner tubing is. And then take some large Mylar. This is size 12. There's a bigger one, I like the bigger one too. So just get that on. Then a little varnish. And just wind that on, so 2 or 3 turns back, and then the same forward. Build up a nice little flash point. So for the tail, I'm just going to use a wee bit of blue fox. You don't even need a tail if you don't want a tail, but why not? We're here, might as well put one on. So just a tiny little pinch, and you want that just a centimetre past the end of the tube. It's about right. Then get rid of that. After that, we want to put in a blue grizzle hackle. If I can find, there we go. Just a blue grizzle hackle. You get these in bugger packs. eBay's full of them. Or you can buy a full cape, but they're about 80 quid or something like that. So just get that on there. This is Froden Green Highlander SSS dub. Brilliant stuff. So just start getting that on there. You're going to want to do a couple of layers here. So keep this bottom layer pretty tight. So we're going to brush it all out. And take it up to, let me see. So about there, leaving about 5mm for the wing and the head hackles. You need quite a bit of dubbing here. So we'll just go down one more time. A bit looser. That'll do, just dandy up. And then take your grizzle hackle and do one full turn at the back. I just think it looks better. And then 4 or 5 turns up the body. And then I just do another full turn at the top, just for security. And then 6 turns there, so that'll hold it in place. Sweep all that back. Then take your Velcro brush and start brushing. I like to just brush it all backwards. Great dubbing this, it really is spiky. It catches the light really nice. I was trying them on the Tay actually last week. This style of fly, and it swam really nice. So our first tackle is green. If I can find my green cape, which surprisingly I've lost. I want one of these big ones from up the top here. It's a big fly. So just prepare that. I just tie it in by the tip. Select the portion I want, tie it in. 1, 2, 3, and then I just, if you yank that quickly, it'll snip off and leave you a couple of fibres just to anchor it in. Oops, my needle's loose. And then just take this round 2 or 3 turns. There's short feathers here, so pretty much the whole thing goes on. Just stay as neat as you can. There's plenty of, if you just take your time, you've got loads of room to work with. It's a big conehead we're putting on. So the first wing is blue. I've just got some short fox here, and I'm taking a a good pinch of it. Just take some of that fluff out. And then we want this just past the end of the tail, really. Get that on there good and tight. And then spread it out so it's covering the top half of the tube. That gets you a nice teardrop shape. That's looking good. Just get rid of as much of this as you can. We're going to tie over it anyway. So I'm just making sure that's really well bound down. And then some UV angel hair. About half a dozen, 6 strands. You can put more in if you want. Well, that's probably nearer 10 I've got, to be honest. Not to worry. Just get them on there. And then trim the angel hair just longer than the wing. The next tackle is blue. Same again, a big one from the top. It depends on your cape where you get them from, but generally the ones at the top are pretty useful for these. I've got 2 there. So same again with this one. 1, 2, 3. Snip off. 4, 5, 6. I think I've knackered the jaw on my vise. It's pretty loose, but it's done well. So again, just put this whole feather on. It's pretty short. That builds up a nice taper there. And snip that off. Then just a couple of wraps to secure it. The second wing is green. I think this is Highlander green from Mad Flies. Again, a good little bunch. It's kind of the opposite of tying for Scottish waters, really, where we like skinny stuff. Wee skinny flies. But I love tying these because they're big boys. So just carefully, 3 wraps. And we want this wing just like about slightly longer than the last wing. Say about another 3 centimetres or so. And then just snip that off as neatly as you can. The hair stuck there. And the same again, just get it bound tightly down. This is why we want strong thread, so we can crank down on it. That way you don't need any glue or anything. And then we are on to some Frodon Glitz Flash and Chartreuse. It's good dubbing. Flash this, it's got 6 or 7 different colours and textures in it, so it really catches the light. Just going to sort this vise out. No. So if we just get back to what we were doing, and then trim these a little longer, about a centimetre longer than the second wing. And the third hackle is black. So just exact same process again. I could find a feather. So just a big black, these are hen feathers. Select the bit you want. I like to come up the stem a little bit because it gets stronger up there, and I want those longer fibres anyway. These are great for using up your big massive hackles basically that you never use, that are leftovers, for fishable flies that will catch you fish. There's some good techniques in these to learn. Once you can tie a Templedog, there's a lot you can tie. Woolly buggers being one of them. You can tie loads of handy flies. So just get that on there. Whoops, that doesn't matter. Struggling a bit with this vise. So sweep all that back. I'm always tying slightly back the way. We don't want to go too far in this direction. So final wing is black. This is just some black fox. And I'm taking about half the amount that I've taken the last time. So we want this just slightly longer than the last wing again. Just going to pull that through a bit. I could have done with a longer piece actually, but there we go. And then get that spread out along the top half of the tube. Don't worry about anything trapped in there. Just get it bound on. Looking pretty good. That's good. And for the last touch, we're going to put on a spey hackle. Here's one I made earlier. Just a pheasant rump hackle. I don't have any really long ones. I wish I did. They got quite hard to get actually. Exact same. You can actually just bend the tip back and double that in. adds a few fibres. Just going to tidy this up. You want a little bit of fluff here is quite handy for butting the cone against. Just not too much. So take your spay hackle and just get it on to your satisfaction. These look great in the water, spay hackles. And just tie that off now. I'm having real bother with these jaws. That's a bit better. So get that tied off and then get yourself a little bed of thread. This is just for the cone and the glue to sit on, but it adds a little extra security as well. Then take your glue and apply it liberally, as in not that much. Just get the thread. This is super thin glue, it sinks in really well. And it doesn't soak into the fibres like you would think it would. So just a little goes a long way when it comes to glue. I've just noticed I've missed all this. That'll do my scissors no good. So the last thing is to take a cone. Where are the cones? Just snip that off first, of course. Take your cone, slide it on, and then push it in hard. And I like to give it a little twist anti-clockwise. That just straightens the hackles out as well. It dries really quick, this glue. Then off with this. Just cut 3mm. And then take your lighter and just burr that down gently. I've got it down to a fine art because I do it all the time, but just go slowly and burr it right the way down to the cone and let it dry for just a second. And there you have it. That is a Bucky Special Templedog. Bucky Special Templedog, and now the hairdryer treatment. Job's a good one. Thanks for watching.